Hi there, I'm Jen from Fabbulous Paper Emporium. Today we are going to be making this, I think it's called Pull Up Accordion, probably Fun Fold something or other. So I've seen it called a couple of different things, and this is basically what it is. So you've got this really cool card that you can actually hang. Obviously you can decorate the inside here, and the bottom is where you would put, have another white piece. I had this cut for the one that we're making today. So that would lay there. And of course you'd write your message. I decided to use a bunch of the plaids that came in a book that is filled with lovely plaids. I'll just show it to you really quickly since I don't think I've ever pulled this one out. It's fairly new. It is called Holiday Plaids 6x6. It's from Photoplay. Here we go. And it's got a few solids in it to coordinate with all the plaids, the ginghams, checks. It's got some really lovely patterns in it, all double-sided, 24 sheets. And so I decided to play around with that a little bit. So, hence the coloring. And yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. It's all very Christmassy. It just requires some decoration, which I obviously should have thought of before I attached these to the top and, made it spring loaded. So I've learned from that, and you can still kind of muck around with it a bit, that you can easily kind of fold these out this way and fit your paper in. So I will be finishing that at some point. But today I'm using one of the newer paper packs that we've received, and it's Graphic 45. I think Graphic 45 might have hit the store about a week and a half ago, give or take. So we do have some stunning Graphic 45 paper packs. So this one is 8x8, and really nice to have like an 8x8 because it does go a long way when you're making cards. So this one is called Christmas Time, and it is very, I don't know, it almost has like a bit of a steampunk kind of vibe to it with all these gears and Santa wearing those kind of goggles. So I've used some of the paper from this pack. Again, everything is double-sided. You get 3 sheets of each, and there are, I want to say there's 24 sheets in here. So yeah, again, we've got the gears, some kind of steampunkish ornaments. Got deer on the back with a bunch of cut aparts that could turn into like little gift tags, that kind of thing. Some plaid. Again, another kind of steampunk Christmas tree. Then we have this guy with some very retro kind of, I guess like 1920s, 1930s. That's what Graphic 45 is known for. We have these, which I've actually used the strip, the Christmas strip, and the Merry and Bright Love and Peace. I'll be using that today as well. Just want to make sure I'm not missing anything. I've used this pattern as well on the little squares. So yeah, it's a really fun take on kind of Christmas, your traditional Christmas. We do have a few other, there's a Nutcracker suite. We've got a deluxe kit for the Nutcracker suite and a few other things. So if you wanted to check those out, do go to the store at fabulouspaperemporium.com. Getting back to what we are doing today. So I'm going to go through some of the piece sizes. I'm going to put aside. So these are the little cut aparts that I am going to be using to decorate this piece. So I'm going to set these aside. Obviously did quite a bit of fussy cutting. Okay, so first things first, we are going to need, oops, I set it aside. We're going to need whatever your base is. So mine is black, and this is cut at 12 by 8. We'll be doing some scoring and cutting on this in a minute. You're also going to need the red foil pieces are cut at 1 3/4 by 1 3/4, and you're going to need 20 pieces. And then the little design piece is cut at 1 1/2 by 1 1/2. It's up to you if you didn't want so much of a border, but I really wanted that red to kind of stand out and have more of a presence. But if you wanted to make your design piece be kind of the pièce de résistance, you could certainly cut those at 1 5/8 by 1 5/8, and that would give you less of a border and more of your designer paper. You could also use a solid. If you wanted to go crazy with stamps, you would have 20 of them to fill, mind you. So maybe a combination of stamps and designer paper might work really well, but you're going to need 20 of those as well. And obviously I've gone ahead and done all my gluing, so I'm not spending an inordinate amount of time doing all that, you know, doing the video. You're also going to need whatever you're using as color as the base. You're also going to need another sheet, and this is cut at 6 1/4 by 6 1/4. I've done my second layer, so this is going to be what's showing upwards. And here in this piece, it was gray. Whoops, I don't know what got caught there. Anyhow, so this is the kind of silvery gray, and this piece is cut at 6 by 6. Also, I cut this piece a little bit smaller, not because it's going to layer here, but just I wanted a little bit of a bigger border. So this is going to be going face down. This red will go face up. And then whatever you're wanting to decorate, if you just wanted to cut a nice piece of designer paper, you could certainly do that. And that would be cut at 5 3/4 by 5 3/4 in order to fit into that one. Personally, I'm just going to do a combination of, so this was one piece, and you can see it in the Christmas time, fits in something like that. So I'm going to be doing a little bit of layering so it fits, because it wasn't going to fit if it was all attached. So that's what I decided to do. You will also need 2 pieces that are cut at 7/8 by 3 1/4. And again, this is going to be the same color as your base. And then we're going to need 2 little circles. So I've got a 1 inch black circle, and then I've used my scallop punch. This is the 1 1/2 inch scallop punch to do the red. And we'll also need some ribbon, and that will be our little pull thing, our hook, whatever you want to call it, at the top. Alrighty, so there are a little bit of specialized tools, if you want to call it that. So if you do have your punches, it fits a circle, it could be like whatever it is, it's going to be what is showing at the very top. So if you have little dies, whether they're oval or circle, square, I figure circle or square would probably work better, just given the shape that you have here. But by all means, I mean, that is something that you can do however you wish. And you will need a hole punch so that we can punch through the 2 circles to feed our ribbon through. Okay, so let's get started. We will start with, I'm going to set some of this stuff aside as much as I can. I've got a lot on my desk right now. All right, so we're going to start with our base, the 12 by 8, and we're going to get out our scoreboards. Some really simple scoring today, which is nice. Okay, so we're going to be scoring this at 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10. And then this is what we're going to be doing to create our strips. So 4, 6, 8, and 10. All right, so then we have just these strips, and when we turn it this way, we're going to be doing some cutting. So if you get out your paper trimmer or your scissors, your ruler, whatever you are going to be using, that will work well. I'm just going to grab my small one for right now. Open that up. So now you're going to have the 8 inches going across the top. So we're going to line this up at the 2-inch mark and cut up. And then again, 2 inches. So you're going to be getting, out of your 8-inch strip, you're going to be getting 4 pieces that are 2 inches each. And then okay, perfect. Fabulous. Alrighty. So here we go. We've got our 4 strips. So now what you're going to do is you're just going to simply fold those and just burnish the edges. I know I'm being very particular about this, and it really isn't going to matter, but you don't want it going all like wonky on you. Okay, so basically this is what you're going to end up with. End up with like a bit of an accordion kind of fold for these. So you're going to continue doing that. Do that for the rest of your pieces, and I will be right back with you. Okay, so now that all of your accordion folds have been done, now we get to apply our little squares to all of these areas. So you're going to put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on each. You leave the bottom panel empty. So if it helps you while you're applying that, just fold that in and just go down the line. And this way you're not applying anything to that. And so I am going to grab some of my liquid glue. Okay, and as you apply them, you're going to leave a nice border around them, around each piece. Okay, so I'm going to continue on this and then meet up with you in a little bit. Okay. So now that all of our strips are done, we're going to put those aside for a second, and you're going to grab your black or your base that is 6 1/4 by 6 1/4, and we are going to be placing these on here. So first things first, I have a black base. So this is going to be a bit challenging. What are we doing here? So I'm lining this up. Okay, wait. I want to make sure that I'm doing this in the right order. No. Okay. Don't take the black base. Sorry. Giving you the wrong instructions. You're going to take the piece that is layering on top of the black base. So this is the 6 by 6 piece. Sorry if I blinded you with the foil there for a second. So we're going to flip it over to the back, and we are going to measure. We're going to find our center point. Okay. So for regular rulers, obviously you put that along here, and you're just going to make a little mark at 3. You're going to do that at the top, and then again at the bottom. And then I'm going to do that to the opposite side as well. I think I've shown this to you before. This is kind of a nifty ruler in the sense that on one side you've got 1 through 12, and on the other side you do have like a center 0. So I can just line that up with the 3s on each side, and then I know I'm in the middle at the 0. And then with your pen or pencil, this is going to be covered up anyways. You just want to give yourself a bit of a grid, so to speak, so that you know where your strips are going to be put. You're basically going to try and center these as much as possible. Of course, break out your ruler if you want to, and make sure that you're very precise with that. So long as you're not incredibly, like I just kind of eyeballed this. It sits very very straight. So it's not like it's all, you know, cattywampus. So we are going to apply some of, what am I going to apply? I think I'm going to use my score tape today. And I'm going to apply that. So on the opposite side, so the back side of your strips, you are just going to apply some, it could be glue. There's nothing wrong with doing liquid glue. I'm just going to use this, and for whatever reason my fingers are not cutting that exactly straight. I don't want to start ripping the paper, so I'm going to use my ruler. Okay, so a couple of strips on each would be wonderful. And then I'm using, I think this is the 3/8. I want to say, oop, I kind of really like stuck that to the table and everything. That was great. I think this is a 3/8 score tape. I've obviously got quite a few of the sizes. It's just great all-purpose adhesive, and you can use it in conjunction with, and I think I've mentioned this before in a few of my older videos, where especially when you're making albums or folios, that you can use this in conjunction with your liquid glue. And when you use that in conjunction with, it gives you it grabs a little bit quicker, but the liquid glue on top of your score tape will give you some extra wiggle room and time to get things adjusted to where you want them to be. Okay, so all of my 4 pieces are done. We are now going to make sure, so all of the panels are going to be face up, because when you flip it over, right, you want them all to hang like this. Okay, so we're going to do this part now. Don't worry, we still got plenty of time to do our decorating, and we're going to do that before we join all the pieces together. Okay, so flipping that back over again, I'm going to take off the back side of the adhesive strips and doing my best. You also want to make sure that it is going to be right on the fold. Not exactly in the middle, but close enough. But you do want to make sure that it folds. So you don't want to, as you're applying them, so probably not a bad idea to make sure that they do fold. Okay, so we've got one done. And we're going to repeat this all the way around. Getting rid of the adhesive, the backing, while trying not to get stuck to the other piece. Okay, so the easiest way might be to just kind of lift it up. Make sure that, this fold was not. There we go. Hadn't gotten that quite lined up properly. Okay. It may be easier for you to pick it up. I'm doing that so that I make sure that I'm at least somewhat centered, because when it lays down, I feel like I'm off, right? So, yeah, because I need to make sure that that's folded, or that's on the line. And last one. Okie dokie. This is being problematic. I need one of those little pointy things to get the backing off. I used to... There. Okay, perfect. So this is what you end up with. Kind of a bit of a checker pattern. And then we're going to have to spread out a little bit. So the next thing we're going to do, so this is now the bottom. The bottom is where we put our black base, right? And then we are going to decorate the inside as well. So onto this piece is where we're going to be putting our adhesive, whether that comes in the form of score tape or glue. I'm in the middle of trying to decide what I'm going to be doing. I think I'm just going to grab my liquid glue for right now because it is at hand. It's pretty handy. I do want something that is going to last. Perfect. And now, well, because we're using liquid glue, I'm going to set that, set that on there and just flip it over really quickly. And then I'm just going to maneuver that into place. There. I got a little bit of glue there, and I got a little bit of glue there, and that's fine. I think I'm going to cover that up with some stuff. Anyways, oh, that shifted again. Probably while I was trying to clear off the glue. I do believe that is what has happened. Okay, so we are done with that part. Okay, I'm just making sure that I put kind of that gluey spot. This is where my Santa is going to go. And then I'm going to have, whoops, I'm going to have my Christmas time little thing up here. And I feel like Santa is going to be up on some maybe glue dots or the little foam dots. Now what I am going to do is I am using some of this tape roller. I can't remember what this stuff is called. But because I'm putting it on foil, foil doesn't really grab very fast. And I feel like with the liquid glue, I tend to kind of really slip and slide all over the place. So that is why I am using this. And I went over there. Perfect. Okay. So my Christmas time is going to go right. That's the other thing. That's the other thing with the roll tape or the roller stuff is it sticks. It like grabs right away. So kind of have to be pretty precise. And then I'm just going to overlap this piece a little bit to kind of hide the little, you know, cutouts that I had to put here in order to make this part fit. So bear with me just a bit. I am using the knot. I don't want this as kind of puffy. So I'm using my I got these, I think, from Stamping Up, if I'm not mistaken. They're little dimensional, but they're not really super thick. So you could, it's going on the inside, so it's not like there's anything that's going to be hitting it or coming in contact with it. So I don't think you have really a lot of worry there. But I am, it is going to take up quite a few of these little dimensional thingies. So, because they're tiny, I don't have these in any other size. I did purchase some more of my foam things, but yeah, this is kind of crazy. I just want to make sure that it's not going to crush and fold. So, okay. Oh. All right, perfect. So that is my Father Christmas with his goggles ready to go. And then I'm going to decorate the back side. And so the back side, I'm using this white piece of cardstock. So this is the 5 3/4 by 5 3/4. And I've stamped my sentiment already. And then I am going to be cutting and applying these little strips. I'm going to do the Christmas one at the top. And if I put it right on the edge, then I just chop off a little bit of that one, and I don't like that. So I think I'm going to just bite the bullet and lay it down like this and cut either end. So I'm going to put a line of our liquid adhesive. Set that aside. We'll get this placed as central as possible. Again, you can break out your ruler if you would like to. And then I'm just going to snip each side. All right. Oh, I love it. Absolutely love it. And because of the size, it really does give you a lot of room to write whatever it is you want to write. And I'm going to do something very similar with this because the Marys are going to be at either end that fit quite nicely. And that is what is happening there. Okay. So again, put my liquid. I'd cut one side before I started this. So we're going to stick that there with our glue. And then I am just going to snip this end in line with the paper. Perfect. Excellent. So that is this piece. I'm going to do the same thing, just apply some liquid glue to the back side so we can get that onto our card. I'm just making sure that I have everything the right way. This is a bit challenging. There we go. Okay, just lay that down flat. Awesome. I am so loving how this is coming together. Okay, so the next step is we now need to join all of these pieces. So you're going to grab your 7/8 by 3 1/4 and we're going to make a big old plus sign. So this is now going to be the mechanism that is on top. And we're going to attach. So we're in the home run, right? Or the home run? We're in the home stretch. That's what it is. I don't even know. Don't know where that came from. I'm going to use some of, I really want this to be a good solid attachment. And we're going to eyeball this. And that looks good. Okay. And then from here, you're going to apply your circles. So whichever circles you have punched out, I'm going to layer up the black and red. So just layer that up quickly. Grab your, I always do that the wrong way. Grab your hole punch and as center as you can get it. Okay, it doesn't want to let go. There we go. We're going to punch a hole as, like I said, as close to the middle as possible to both the plus sign as well as the 2 circles. Okay, so we are going to layer these up because my punch definitely will not, it won't go through 4 layers. So that's why you're going to do them separately. And then we're just going to line that up. Here, I put some adhesive on the back of my circles. And then we're going to grab our ribbon. I'm using this beautiful kind of organza ribbon, I want to call it. I think that's what it's called. I'm just going to give myself a really good loop so that I can do a knot on the underside. So first we are going to want to feed these through our tiny, tiny little hole. Okay. So we go from the top through the bottom. Easier said than done because I can't seem to get these through. Help that I don't have my glasses on. There we go. Okay, I gave myself a lot of extra room because I am horrible at doing knots. You can pull it through more if you want to, and that way you give yourself a lot of freedom to make the knot on the other side. Okay, so that's 1 and 2. If I could find the other end. There we go. And then I'm just going to snip off the excess, being careful that you don't cut your card stock. There we go. And now we have our nice little loop on the top. And then the last part is you are going to apply some adhesive to each one of the sides. I'm going to grab my, I think my 1/4 inch score tape and just run a bit at the bottom of each. We're doing it on the top because we are adhering this to the bottom. So this is how they're going to connect, right? So that's why you want your adhesive on the top. Okay. I'm really running out of room. This is a big card to work on, but it is, you know, an amazing piece. Like if you have somewhere to hang it from, it is super fantastic. Super fabulous, some might say. Some. I am one of those some people. Okay. I'm getting ahead of myself. Okay. So, you are going to apply this to each one of these strips. And they're going to be just kind of barely touching the sides, right? Start off with one, but then as you fold the other ones in, you definitely want to make sure that you kind of fold them in this way. So this way you're not, there's no buckling, you're not pulling one to one side. So that is, once you apply one, that is totally what I would recommend, is that you have it laying down flat with all the accordions pushed in. And that way, you know, if you did want to put this in an envelope, which I think you'd have to probably make yourself because it is going to be pretty large. But there you have it. You have a beautiful card that is also, I guess, a bit of an ornament with a lovely, you know, lovely cardstock, lovely designer paper, your message at the bottom. How awesome is that? Anyhow, so thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate it. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give me a big old thumbs up. Don't forget to hit subscribe so you don't miss any future videos. And if you're interested in any of the products that you've seen here today, head on over to my website. It's, of course, it's www. It's fabulouspaperemporium.com. Thank you so much. Hope you have a great day. Stay safe, stay well. Bye.